you would just run and start screaming. Like there was no coordination. I remember it was
What?
football or ultimate frisbee. You'd be like, yeah! You just run out, and I think Trent or whoever was our like frisbee quarterback would throw it. And I think in one instance you just kept running like you weren't aware that the frisbee was coming.
Jamming, yeah, jamming. I hope you like a jamming too. Welcome, one and all, to Jammincast. There's a fantastic show for you today. We're going to be talking to Navid. He's a video gamer, a friend of mine, and we're going to find out how video games have fit into his life. Also, we got What's News, we got What's Jammin', so let's not waste any more time and hop right on into it. Welcome, everybody, to What's News. It's me, Jammin'. Surprise. Did you think I was going to change in that break? No, I'm back. What we're going to talk about this week is some really crazy stuff, some good things that I think are good to share. We got some cool things to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is JMA Psychiatry published this study online on July 10th, 2019. And the question was, is CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, we're talking about mental health and well-being, is it an efficient treatment for internet and computer game addiction? This was the question that they posed with their study. And they found that in this randomized clinical trial of 143 men, a strong remission rate for internet and computer game addiction was noted with CBT in the treatment group versus a waitlist control group. So what they found was that therapy, and cognitive behavioral therapy specifically, was better than trying to force someone to quit video game addiction cold turkey, or using psychiatric medicine, some druggus, to fix their video game addiction, quote unquote. I'm saying video game addiction has not been proven to be a thing, but it is definitely in a thing that's been abused. It's a behavior. So this is where I sit on this topic, okay? And I think therapy and mental health has a huge stigma against it in the country, because we grow up and nobody wants to talk about how you come to terms with the things that you have in your brain. Nobody wants to talk about the way that, how do you deal with a situation? How do you deal with your emotions? How do you deal with yourself? Everyone just kind of assumes you'll figure that out. So we all have our coping mechanisms. And you'll probably know people that use some drugs or people that use alcohol to cope with things. It's not the healthiest way to cope with something, but that's what they'd use. Some people use video games. They're not, physically addicted to video games, but they use video games as an escape, as an outlet, as a way to get away from their problems, a way to cope with whatever's going on in their life. And CBT has been proven through this study to be better than trying to just go abstinent with video games. And by abstinent, I mean just stop playing video games. Just quitting it cold turkey does not seem to help people as much as CBT, and attempting to use drugs to replace video games also doesn't seem to work, according to this study. I think this is really important to talk about because, like I said, mental health is stigmatized in this country. And you think if you go to mental health, you're somehow worse than other people. You're not at all. It's one of the most important parts of our society. And we need to find a way to deal with it so that we can give people the proper tools they need so that they can have successful lives. Because if you don't learn how to cope with things at a young age, at an early age, it can take a long time or never. Some people never figure out how to cope with their things in a healthy manner to better themselves. They get stuck where they are. So it's important. It's important to notice this. So therapy is and it makes sense. Why would therapy be better than quitting cold turkey or giving them drugs? Because they don't have a coping mechanism. People don't have these mechanisms these things in place in their brain. Like, how do I deal with these situations? How do I deal with whatever is causing them stress? They don't know how to do that. So just removing the video games, removing the coping mechanism doesn't help if you don't replace it with something that's healthier and more beneficial. And that's what CBT does. So for anyone out there, if you're in a rut, in a bad place, please go get some therapy. It's really great. It helps so much. It'll save you, and you're going to get so much of your life back that you didn't know about. Honestly. Just go get some therapy. Don't feel bad about it. Please find some help, because you deserve it. Okay. Let's move on. Big news in Blizzard world this week. July 19th, 2019, Frank Pierce posted a letter to Blizzard.com that he is stepping away. This is another founder of Blizzard stepping away. So Mike Morhaime stepped away, I believe, back in October 2018. Alan Adam is the last person left at Blizzard that was a founder. But he also had stepped away previously. He was gone for a number of years, and then he came back. So Frank Pierce posted this letter saying that he's leaving. And, you know, it gives you some concerns. It makes you wonder what's going to happen for the future. They're still going to make video games. Whether or not they're good, we'll find out. And if Blizzard's not the company that's making good video games, I will stop playing them. I will play the games that are good. There will be somebody else that makes video games that are good. Yes, it's not going to be the same. Obviously, we're going to have to find new people, new stuff to play if Blizzard does bad. I'm not saying they're going to. I'm saying that it's not such a big deal. I feel like people were getting a little bit worried. You know, I can see people worrying about Blizzard, and I've heard, you know, on other videos and other commentators talking about Frank leaving, Mr. Pierce leaving. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Honestly, video games continue. So Frank Pierce was more of a behind-the-scenes type of person. He never really stepped into the public light that much. And he's lauded as having a large impact on the culture and design of Blizzard from the inside. So seeing someone step away that is a founder of a company is always a interesting thing. So Frank Pierce is stepping down. And then I want to talk about another sad thing. We kind of got a bunch of like stepping away and mental health, and this last one is a really big deal. So Geoff Robinson, also known as In Control, big StarCraft 2 community personality, player, caster. He passed. He passed away this week. It's a little bit crazy. So he passed quickly and painlessly from a blood clot. And a lot of mourning going on the internet. It's crazy. He was born 11 September 1985. He passed away 21 July 2019. I remember watching and listening to In Control in StarCraft 2, and just was always a huge personality and just seemed like a great guy. It's just crazy to me to think that someone would pass away this young. Someone with so much talent and so much skill and so much personality and charisma. You always assume that they're immortal, right? Everybody assumes they're immortal. You know logically that you're not, but you don't think about death. And to have someone this young pulled away from us when he had so much to give, it really does suck. It's not fun. If you want to honor Jeff or comfort his family, they suggested on their Twitter feed that at SoCal Bulldog. They are a nonprofit rescue group in Southern California dedicated to the rescue, rehoming, and rehabilitation of homeless English bulldogs in Southern California. So SoCalBulldogRescue.org. Or just at SoCal Bulldog on Twitter. SoCalBulldog. Check them out, guys. If you want to do something, do that. In a more general news sense, we got Comic-Con 2019 going on. Matt Piscatella, at Matt Piscatella, on the Twitters, posted this tweet with a list of the lifetime sales leaders for superhero video games from the NPD group. Marvel's Spider-Man is the #1 best-selling superhero video game of all time in the US. The newest Spider-Man game for the PlayStation 4. A fantastic game if you haven't played it. Maybe I'll stream that game. That game's fantastic. I haven't beaten it yet. Marvel's Spider-Man is a great game and is now the #1 game. It pushed out Batman Arkham City as the #1 superhero video game of all time for sales. Rightfully so. It's a fantastic game. And the next piece of news, Nintendo. I don't know if we've talked about Nintendo recently, but lawyers at Chimicless Schwartz Kreiner and Donaldson Smith have filed a class action lawsuit in the U.S. against Nintendo, alleging that it sells Joy-Cons, the controllers that Nintendo sells with its Switch, knowing that they're defective. Many users have reported issues with, quote, drift, where the joystick will register movement even when not being touched. So this lawsuit, class action, there was a big Reddit thread, and it exploded. I think the person got banned, or it was crazy. Like this guy talking about, I'm really tired of my Joy-Con doing this, and this is a premium controller. Why am I paying so much money for a controller? And then why are they breaking? And why is Nintendo not doing anything to solve this? Why are they still selling these Joy-Cons and they're still defective? So these lawyers are filing this class action lawsuit against Nintendo. You know, if the controllers are really broken, that's no good. It is a expensive thing. And Nintendo is making buku money off Switch. Switch is I don't know anyone who would challenge that Switch is the #1 console to own right now. If you want good games right now, get a Switch. PlayStation 4 is up there. It's getting there. But this is a class action lawsuit against them for their Joy-Con controller issues. And I've heard of this issue. I've talked to people who have this issue, but I didn't realize it was such a big thing. I don't know how many % of Joy-Cons actually have this problem. And, I don't know the numbers on it. That seems like a really important thing to find out. How many of these Joy-Cons actually have this issue? Obviously, it's a lot because people are all reporting the same thing. But is it as widespread as the Reddit thread would tell you? Is it less? Is it more? It's a lot of hard numbers to come up with and know. But that's just something that's happening. Nintendo is getting sued for, not taking care of its customers. And back to Blizzard news. World of Warcraft, Method and Red Bull. Method and Red Bull are the two big companies doing this race to world first. Mythic Azara is the big thing going down. I don't know if this is down yet by the time you're listening to this, but as of this moment, it's day number 10. And these guilds are just throwing themselves at this wall of bosses. They are throwing themselves at Queen Ashara, just slamming their faces against this wall of a character, trying to be the first to take it down. And it's been such a tight race, because as soon as one person clears a boss, everybody else has a video of them clearing it, and they're immediately right with them. So this final boss is taken, and I was worried for a little bit watching this, that the final boss would just, someone that hadn't really put the work in on the earlier bosses would all of a sudden take over on the final boss. But whoever gets it, it's been 10 days now, guys. We had one raid reset. We might get a second raid reset before they take down Queen Ashara. They're just all trying to figure out this, what can they do to beat this boss? And so they're just going. It's constant. It's really crazy. So Metha's best Queen Ashara, they got Queen Ashara down to 59.9% with one of the ads dead on pool number 158. Method has wiped 169 times on Queen Ashara as of this recording. I'm sure it's up higher now. Probably, maybe broken 200, unless they beat Ashara, but I doubt it. So, these bosses, Method one-shot Commander Savara, first week. Blackwater Behemoth, these are all the bosses for the Eternal Palace raid. Blackwater Behemoth, they one-shot. Radiance of Ashara, they one-shot. Lady Ashvane took 37 attempts. Gorgonzola, his name is actually Orgozoa, took 55 wipes. The Queen's Court, there were 16 wipes. Zakul, the second to last boss, he took 166 wipes. And Queen Ashara, they're currently at 169, and they have not yet beaten Queen Ashara. According to Red Bull, the world first rankings for Queen Ashara are Limit is in number 1 with 49%. JTH, the Chinese Guild, is in second place with a 51% attempt, getting Queen Ashara down to 51%. AFKR, a Korean guild, got him down to 58%. Method with their 60% that day, but it looks like they're even lower now with their 59.9%. And then Pieces with a 61%. Both European guilds. I know that I've seen them talking about on the Method chat that the limit kill is not, necessary because they got him down to 49%, but they killed they were just tunneling the boss and then they died to the ad, so it doesn't really count. It's fake progression, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it sounds like Limit is doing really well. Meth is doing really well. It's going to be really up to whoever can deal with these ads, because that's the big problem right now. They get these 3 ads, and on the third ad, it's like this insanely strong ad, and they just can't deal with it. It's a crazy thing that's happening, because some people, I know, they said preach, and sorry to call you out for this, preach, but they said it would only take 3 days. He said that it would only take 3 days for this event to end. The final boss would be dead on the third day. It's been 10. So we're probably going to see another raid reset the way it's going right now. If not, more power to it. I'll talk about it next week. And my final piece of news for this week, Overwatch announced its newest hero, Sigma, Hero 31. He's a tank. He's a big tank guy, a little bit crazy. He's got gravity-based abilities. He's a brilliant scientist with a split personality. He's crazy and brilliant. His ultimate launches enemies into the air. He suspends them in the air before bringing them back down. And I'm already seeing Diva self-destruct videos comboing with this ultimate. You throw the enemy team up in the air, you throw a bomb underneath them, they come crashing back down, or they go up whenever, right before the bomb goes off. They can't do anything. They're stuck. And so seems like a really cool tank. He's got some interesting mechanics. He's got a shield he can throw out, and it kind of flies in a line, and you can stop it. And it's similar to Reinhardt and Orisa shield. It's a big shield, soaks a lot of damage. So he's another tank, and he's crazy. He's a little bit crazy tank. He's got this seems to be dealing with. He was a brilliant scientist dealing with gravity technology, and now he's got this split personality, and he's figuring out those coping mechanisms. Remember when we talked about that? It's full circle, baby. It's full circle. What a show. Okay, guys, let's move on. We're going to talk about what's jam and what's going on in my life, because I like to talk about myself. Here we go. What's jammin', people? How you doing? Welcome. Man, what a week. It's been busy. It's been a long week, too, because I finished the podcast last week early. And this week, I feel like I have a lot to say, a lot of things I was doing. And I'm just excited that you guys are here, excited to talk about it. So, big news for me in World of Warcraft news as the first thing I'll talk about. I got flying. I am now officially in the skies above Nazjatar. A skies above the troll. Is Zuldazar? Is that what it's called? Right? Am I getting that right? Doesn't matter. I'm in the skies of Battle for Azeroth. Champions of Azeroth was the final rep I needed. And on July 24th, 2019, there was a Champions of Azeroth emissary quest. So I got that big, fat, juicy 1500 rep, and it just threw me over the top. And now I'm revered with enough people, everybody basically. And now I am flying. And it's just beautiful. It's so much nicer, so much easier. I'm flying around doing world quests like that. Just click, 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 boom, get the world quest done. I don't have to worry about traversing Nazjatar and figuring it out. I haven't even gone to Mechagon yet flying. But I have Pathfinder Part 1 done, and click, 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 Pathfinder Part 2 finished at the same time because I had already been revered with Nazjatar, with the Rust Bolt Resistance, and the whatever the Nazjatar people are called, the fish people, the fish goblins, the giblins. And so, yeah, it's been great. I'm so excited. It's been fantastic. I streamed it for no reason in the middle of the morning. I got on and I looked at my emissary quest and I said, Champions for Azeroth. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to stream that night. And I just hopped on stream and did it. And I was so excited to fly around in World of Warcraft again. It's one of those things that I love because it makes the game so much faster and quicker, and I don't have to spend so much time playing the game, like the farming part of the game, because now I've done it so much, and you're like, okay, please just let me do this quickly so that I can get to the part that I want to play. But it's just really joyous to take off, and holy cow, does Nazjatar look beautiful from the skies. Like, that is a beautiful zone. But it is beautiful from above. When you kind of look at it the way the developers are able to look at it when they're like modeling it, it's beautiful being able to pull out and see all these things. And the waterfalls on the side of the zone, just glorious. Just so beautiful that you really don't get to appreciate until you get flying. Also for me, I joined a pug and I downed Radiance of Ishara in normal Eternal Palace. I was feeling really good about myself because I joined this random pug and I was like, let me try this, normal. I got like, some gear. I'm like 409 item level. It's okay. It's not great. But I was like top of the damage meters in their group, and I was like, oh, am I good? Am I still good at this game? I feel pretty good. And then I joined an LFR, and I was just in awe because there was this elemental shaman that joined the LFR with us, and he was doing like 32,000 sustained damage on every fight, and I was doing like 21,000. So he was just destroying everybody in the group. And I messaged him and talked to him, and he only had thing. He was like, just get benthic gear. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing that, friend. But also I was kind of like, dude, rock on, man. Fist bump. Boom. Explode it. Because watching an elemental shaman do damage is just, it's awesome. I love it. It's beautiful to be like, yeah, none of you can touch me. I'm an elemental shaman. Like, I love it, dude. I knew they were garbage at the beginning of the expansion, but just seeing them just do buku damage is awesome. And then for the stream, big news for anyone who watches the stream, I bought a bunch of stuff on Prime Day. Amazon had their Prime Day. Bunch of Elgato. I even had someone tell me like, congrats on the Elgato sponsorship. And no, I'm not sponsored by Elgato. I just bought a bunch of their products. So I bought an Elgato Stream Deck, so now I can do a bunch of cool, like, memey things. I can play, like, video clips real quick. I can play soundboards. I can switch my stream, the video, whatever's on the screen. I can switch it with the Stream Deck. It's really nice. It reminds me a lot of when I used to work at a TV studio, and I was able to, switch my video input, with a flick of a switch. I was able to switch what was on screen, and it's really a great tool. and I'm very happy with it. Much more than I thought I would be. I thought I was kind of buying like a toy. Like, it would be fun for a little bit, but it wouldn't be that useful. It's actually extremely useful. Especially there's a sneeze button I have now so that when I press it, it mutes my microphone so I can sneeze into it, and you guys don't have to hear that while I'm streaming. So the stream is really picked up in quality. I got 2 big key lights. I got Make Myself Look Beautiful lights. I can adjust them from Elgato as well. And then I got a new monitor and a capture card for my... This is like... I spent way too much money at Prime Day for my computer. So now I'm going to be able to stream console games like Spider-Man. I can stream console games like Nintendo Switch games. And I think I'm going to start doing that. Streaming some Nintendo, streaming some PlayStation while I'm waiting for Classic WoW. So before Classic WoW comes out, we're going to be streaming those. Another thing I want to talk about, back into Classic WoW. I was watching a Tips Out video. So Tips Out's a YouTuber, streamer, classic World of Warcraft enthusiast. And he released a video on July 16th. And he mentioned that dungeon leveling, it was kind of his like classic, his video was like a classic World of Warcraft beta recap. His final thoughts on the beta. But he mentioned something that was really important that I felt like more people should know. He mentioned that dungeon leveling is going to be one of the best ways to level in the game. Like, not just like group leveling, but as a way to level completely. So he did 5-man RFC runs in the classic beta. From level 12 to level 16, it took them 2.5 hours. It was 5 people. They took 2.5 hours to get from level 12 to level 16. And according to him, Tips Out, Joanna, the World of Warcraft speed leveler, that if you don't know who that is, you check out Joanna's guide for how to level, always plays Hunter, solo run, solo levels. Their level 12 to 16 took about 3 hours and 10 minutes. So Tips Out's group took 2.5 hours to get from 12 to 16, just grinding RFC. And the World of Warcraft speed leveler Joanna took 3 hours and 10 minutes to get 12 to 16 solo. There is one thing to think about, though. This 3 hours and 10 minutes, right, to get from 12 to 16 solo. Once you're at 16, though, and you're done with RFC, you got to go on to the next dungeon, which if your RFC is 13 to 18, so it's only Horde. So I guess the Alliance don't even get their dungeon, right, from that level. But Wailing Caverns would be the next dungeon for the Horde. It's a level 17 to 24 thing. So that travel time from RFC to Wailing Caverns, which probably doesn't take very long, is going to change that. That's important for your leveling. So the 2.5 hours that he did in RFC with this 5-man, they're going to have to spend that next, 15 minutes, whatever it is, to get everybody over to Wailing Caverns to start up again. And is that time you save in the dungeon worth the time, that you could be doing solo? Also, the fact that you need to have everybody online the entire time and getting, 5 people to just grind away at dungeons all the way to 60 takes some dedication, takes some real dedication. So, still, if you're solo leveling, check out Joanna's guide. But if you have 5 people or 4 other people, think about leveling in dungeons. That's what's jamming. That's what's been going on. Very nice week for me. Lots of. That's just fun. It was a good week, and I'm looking forward to next week, seeing what happens with the World First Race, and getting the stream up and running, and really trying out some new things on stream. So yeah, exciting stuff, guys. So that's what's jamming. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's move on to this week's interview. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jamincast. It's me, your host, Jamin. I'm here. What's going on? I'm joined today by my good friend, fellow video gamer, Navid. What's going on, Navid? How are you, man?
I'm good. I don't know who this is. What am I doing here?
You are being interviewed for a podcast. It's this podcast I run. It's called Jamincast, and I do it every week, every Saturday. And I found you, and you're here. You're being one of the interviewees, as it were.
Did the check clear? Okay, the check clear. All right. Hey, what's going on, Jamin?
Welcome,
I'm gonna have a hard time calling you that. I'm used to calling you Anthony. We've known each other forever.
Yeah, we went to college together for a extended period of time that we won't disclose, and yeah, it's been good. So, how's life? What's going on?
Life is good. I cannot complain. Living that whole white picket fence, the dream. Getting to game every night.
Nice.
Life's good.
All those things that our parents told us we would never do because video games are for children. They're not for adults, right?
Yeah, they
Okay.
are for children.
Oh.
We shouldn't be playing video games. We're terrible
Shut it
people.
down, everyone. Hey, shut it down. Everyone get out. Shut it down. Okay, so first question that I always ask, and I want to ask you, is what's the first game that you ever played that left an impression on you?
Damn, that's a good question. The first game I played, wow, just right out the gate,
Yeah.
Um, honestly, it's gonna be dumb. It's between Super Mario World and Pilot Wings on the Super Nintendo. And the reason Pilot Wings is in there, because it's like such an obscure game, is
Mhm.
my dad got the Super Nintendo for the family. I played Mario World and I absolutely sucked at it. I didn't know what Mario was because I'm just, a dumb kid. But then we had Pilot Wings and he liked that game and we played that together. And that game left an impression on me because I was having a lot of fun playing, games with my dad and connecting.
Yeah.
Um, and then if we were to broaden that to PC games, the same thing happened. It's actually my dad's fault that I like Warcraft. I'm never going to tell him that. He bought a compact
He's listening, or
computer.
he's listening right now to the podcast. He's my number one listener. I'm pretty sure.
Getting a scathing comment.
Yeah.
He bought a compact computer with Warcraft that ran on MS DOS, and I played the crap out of it. He would play first. He'd be like, "This mission might be too difficult. I'm going to make sure you can do it." I would go and do it. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old were you when you played Pilot? So you said Super Mario World and then Pilot Wings.
Mhm.
What age are we talking about?
Jeez. 6 to 8, something like that.
Okay.
Something in that range. It was a long time ago.
And then Warcraft was around the same time, maybe a couple years later.
Yeah, Warcraft was more like, I think, 9 or 10. When I forget, Warcraft was like 95, 6, 4, something like that.
Mm-hmm. And so, do you have a favorite game of all time right now? Is there a game that? So I asked, that's the first games that left impressions on you. But then there's that specific game that's your keystone game, right? Is there anything like that for you?
That's really okay. So it's a great question, but no, like I don't have, and it's such a bullshit answer because I hate World of Warcraft, but I'm still playing it, and it's
Yeah.
been out for 15 years. But it's not my favorite game. I play every single Total War game. They're not my favorite games, but I like them because I relax when I play them. Like just the whole mindset of RTS. But probably, God, it's such a cop out answer. Any Zelda or Mario game because they give you that, and it's the nostalgia train. But they're genuinely fun games. Like Mario Odyssey
Mm-hmm.
isn't my favorite game, but I could go back and play any Mario game and enjoy it. So probably that Nintendo lined.
Yeah,
But
Nintendo. So Blizzard is like on the edges of your periphery, and it's like clawing at you. But Nintendo's right there in the center. Like, we got you, man. It's right here.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, World of Warcraft. I got, so this week I got flying. I achieved the achievement of grinding all the reputations, and now I can fly, which means now I can do everything I was already doing faster and with less conflict. And I have not logged in.
Yeah, I saw you got the achievement total fucking waste of time. Like it popped up in my like the guild. You remember
Mhm.
that?
Yeah.
In the guild achievements, it popped up.
Oh wow. Yeah.
I will never reputation grind. It's the worst part of the game. And here's the crazy part. Classic is all about reputation grind, and it's worse in classic because there's no dailies.
Is it reputation grinds in classic? I've never heard anyone say that yet, that it's a reputation. I've heard that there are terrible grinds of reputation if you want to do them, but not necessarily that they are the only thing, or that's like the thing you have to do.
It's not the only thing, but imagine like I remember I forgot what it is for Molten Core. Um The one for Molten Core was bad. The Kobold one that you need if you want to get some of the rare and cool trinkets with the Kobold. There's like a whole bunch of stuff. Like I remember I just hated it. People were like, yeah, just go kill Kobolds for 7 weeks and
Is it the
you'll get a good
furbolgs? You
trinket.
mean the ones near Winter Spring?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Furbolgs.
in the tunnel
Not
there.
whatever fantasy creature,
Yeah, the
Mark's
bear
about.
people.
Yeah, them.
Yeah, the Timber Mall hold. I think it is their reputation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they give you the cool. Was it a trinket that turned you, or is it a toy? There's no toys in World of Warcraft, and there's no like. It's all in your bags, and your bags carry everything. For vanilla, yeah. So yeah, the reputation grind for retail WoW is really awful, and I've realized that there's not much more to do unless I get a guild. So that's a big problem, especially because the guild we're in, I actually like all the people in it, just nobody's logging in ever because nobody has a subscription. So we'll see what happens. I'm really excited about Classic WoW just because I think it'll be fun to stream because there's a lot to go towards. There's a lot to work towards, and that's really the thing that you need. There needs to be a purpose to what you're doing to try to entertain people.
It's not just that, just knowing that we might potentially have a group of friends playing it, and the idea that I don't feel like I'm behind because I'm not playing every day. Because Classic WoW, just accomplishing a dungeon was a freaking achievement. Like any of the end game dungeons, like went to Skullmance and what am I forgetting? Straddleholme. Like they were not easy.
Ubers and Libers and
Yeah,
those are all. It's going to be a good time, I think. Whether or not we actually all make it to 60, we'll see that. That's going to be an interesting point. And then
are we taking bets on Trent? Are we taking some bets?
Yeah, he's either going to be on there constantly, or he's going to be on there for like the first day. We'll see.
We're going to be like 60 in a month, and he's like level 12.
He's gonna be working, man. He's gonna be working and cooking. He'll be the cook. We'll send him all our raw meat and all our raw stuff, and he'll get his cooking level up to maxed out.
That would actually be pretty awesome.
Yeah, we'll just send all our raw materials to him, and he'll make all the stuff.
He's the guild cook.
Yeah. 100%. It's gonna be great. Vanilla WoW, man. It's I honestly can't wait to just do strat when it's actually content. I don't think I've ever gone into that dungeon and been properly leveled for it.
Then you've never farmed for the freaking flute off of a stupid male person that makes it was like a flute.
No, yeah, I farmed for it, but I farmed for it during Burning Crusade, so it was not as difficult.
Yeah, I wanted that item so bad, never got it.
Really? Because it's like really, really popular now, and like every time I end up in a raid or a dungeon and we're waiting for something, someone ends up popping it.
Yep.
So what's your favorite game you're playing right now then?
I don't really have one. I'm in a weird transition period where just I guess being a dad and then my work is skyrocketed, which is great, but I work in front of a computer all day. So I come home and it's like I don't really feel like playing games. Like reading and TV has been my thing now, but I'll occasionally hop on, if I see you or the other guys on. I enjoy playing games with you guys because I think it's a great way to relax and have some social activity.
Yeah, and connect with people that are, you don't have to leave your house. You can just connect with people across great distances.
Man. So I've got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, wait, reversal. Go ahead. What's up?
I'm hitting you with the reversal. So with this whole podcast thing, is there something you kind of wish you knew when you started out that like what do you wish you had known when you started this podcast that now you feel pretty comfortable with? And I know you're not super far into it, but what, like 8, 9 episodes now?
This is episode 8, I believe, that we're recording right now.
So you feel a lot more comfortable with it?
Yeah, I think so. A couple things I've learned is that letting people talk. I have had a couple guests on where I cut them off while they were answering, not because I wanted them to not speak. It's because I wanted them to understand that I knew what they were talking about, and I wanted to. So learning exactly how to do an interview, and I've started reading like Howard Stern's books and talking to people that have done interviews. And asking them for opinions and stuff, and that's been really good. it's the getting into a routine is the big deal for this. So getting it and figuring out what day I can finish it on and what time I'm moving on and getting the work done. And then now it's starting to take me into my into YouTube. And when I before this podcast, YouTube was like kind of like I'll throw up a video if I want to. Like if I think of something good, I'll make it and I'll put it up. But I think similar to YouTube, similar to Twitch, similar to this podcast, being on a schedule and setting a specific day and time for certain content is very important. And so for Twitch, it's been really difficult because my work schedule is so random. It feels like that some days I can't stream or stream for very long. And so having, I guess that's what I've learned so far with this podcast is that scheduling your content and really putting the effort in to make sure you follow that every week is really important.
Well, that's good. Like, it's great that you're evolving and learning, and I think you're gonna expand into something greater if you keep this up. I think you're doing a good job.
Well, thanks, man. It's been good. It's been fun to do. I love talking, so it's fun to talk and just say whatever I want to say, and then everybody just has to listen. Well, they don't have to; they can just shut it off, I guess. But if they are sticking around and listening, then they get to listen.
So what's your favorite word? What's your favorite word to use, or you find yourself using over and over again when you listen?
Yeah, so I'll listen to my podcast, like to make sure that everything sounds good, and I'll hear myself saying "exciting" a lot. And I say, if you listen to my podcast and you take a shot every time I'm saying the word "exciting," you would just you'd probably be drunk by the end of the podcast because I'm especially the first couple episodes because I wasn't paying attention to it, but I was like, there's an exciting podcast for you. We have an exciting guest. We have an exciting thing going on. We have exciting World of Warcraft, exciting stuff. And that's exciting, I'll say, like, and that's really exciting as just a filler word instead of or and yeah, and that's my word. If like Brandon Sanderson has raising eyebrows, I have the word exciting.
That's riveting.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't know, like those are the habits that you're gonna have to figure out how to break because what is it? The ums, the likes, the hums.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have diverse.
Yeah,
I guess a diverse vocabulary.
I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast, and he does this reaction when people are talking, and he'll go, "Oh," and like it's like very obnoxious when I first started listening to it and hearing it, and I was like, "Why is he doing that? Is that natural for him?" And maybe it is natural, but it also reassures the guest that like he's listening, I guess, and it also gives the listener a moment to be like, oh, that was important. What was that? What did he say? And making sure they're listening and understanding it. It's kind of a punctuation because it's all audio. So you only have noises you make. If you don't make any noise, you can't add anything to the conversation. But you also don't want to speak over someone and step on them. So there's these like groans that he has are really good punctuation for the conversations.
Yeah.
I have a question for you since you mentioned you have a kid. How has having a kid affected your looks on video games? I don't know if she's not old enough really to do video games. How old is she? She
is 19 months.
19 months.
So close to 2 years, yeah.
So video games not really on the spectrum yet. I mean, there's probably iPad and FaceTime and stuff, but nothing like.
Well, so we are believers in that philosophy of no screen time until after the age of 2, and even then it's going to be limited. And we've seen the difference. Like, not to be like the hoity-toity parents, like we know we've like. My sister's a doctor. She's talked to us about it. She said, "Please don't put your kid in front of a screen. There's a difference in developmental health.
Yeah.
Social skills are worse in kids who are in front of a screen because a lot of parents like, and I totally get it. You're at a restaurant and your kid just starts wailing. There's no reason for it. They're just screaming. Give them an iPad. They shut up.
Yeah.
But we try not to do like we don't try. We don't. The only time she's in front of a phone is if she's FaceTiming with like a relative who can't be here, and she totally understands that it's just communication.
Yeah.
In terms of gaming, like if you're talking about, oh, games are too violent, I don't give a shit about that. Like I played violent games when I was young, and I'm sure my parents didn't have any idea, like any clue what I was playing, because video game stores didn't really stop you when we were our age. It's like mature blood, guts, nudity,
Yeah.
big gazongas. I was like, it's called Duke Nukem. It's
Yeah.
about a guy who shoots aliens.
What's the Conker's Bad Fur Day? Yeah.
It's a fun game. But yeah, and we definitely like it's gonna be one of those things where we're gonna let her play games, and I know she's gonna hate it because we both love it. So I just get that feeling. But we're gonna let her play when she's old enough, whatever she wants.
And then when she has to like, hey, I need food, Dad, and you're like, not now. I'm raiding Molten Core. I don't have time for you. Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what you need to be doing right now? Healing your dad. Where's the goddamn heal?
Yeah. Why are you? Oh, where's your fire resist gear? I've been asking you to farm this for weeks. God. Don't go to school. Get your fire resist gear.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Are there any games you're so I'm going to say this and I've said this question to so many people and every single person has the same answer in the last couple of weeks and I'm almost 100% sure I know what you're going to say. But I'm going to ask anyway. What games or game are you looking forward to coming up? And is it Cyberpunk 2077?
It's actually Hello Kitty times 7, but I guess I could do the cop out answer of Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, like it's been really cool, like that I haven't been super zoned in on video games because, and what I mean by that is like, no offense to anyone who's like hyper crazy about video games and like got a needle eye on everything that's coming out because I used to be like that. I get it, but now I'm kind of like going with the flow, and then like I'll be out tomorrow and I'll see like an ad or something on YouTube that's like, hey, guess what? Super Smash Brothers came out, and I was like, wow. Cool.
Yeah, that game's out already. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, nice. I'm not like sitting there, butt clenched, watching the time go by. Oh, sequel trailer 3. Yeah. They added 5 seconds. I'm not like that anymore. But
the only game I'm like that for right now is Classic WoW, where I'm like, what day is it? How much more time we have? Oh, okay.
I really hope the nostalgia goggles don't fall right off in the first like week. I'm worried about that. But
yeah. I'm worried about rolling on a correct server. I mean, I want to choose the server that's going to live. I feel like it's going to be a lottery, right? Like you're going to click on a server and you're going to be like, oh, this one seems good. Let's click on that one. And then you go on it. And then, in a month, you leveled all the way to 50, whatever it is, whatever level you are after a month. And you look at the server and nobody's left on it. And there's a bunch of other servers with people still. So I'm worried about rolling on a server that doesn't have enough people on it.
Well, that's why WoW has this transfer service that you can pay ass loads of money.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. They'll probably, when they notice like a trend with the servers dying, like so you didn't play Classic, and I don't remember if this was in Burning Crusade, but if you were on a server, I think it was either dying or the population was out of control, they would give you free transfers.
Yep, I did that.
Yeah.
I started on Twisting Nether, the RP PvP realm, and then I ended up transferring to Onyxia when they gave off a free transfer because our server was dead. Mm-hmm. People have talked, though, about, and there's been YouTube videos, I think Tips Out is one of the big guys that talked about this, is that server mergers is a big, Blizzard sees it, and people who play MMOs see it as a big problem, as a big no-no. It's a really bad thing to do. Because a server is a community, and by adding 1,000 people into your server, the people that come in and play every day and that are there every day, that's the thing that keeps them coming back is the community and knowing people and understanding how things work. And when you disrupt the economy and disrupt the community by adding, 1,000 more people all of a sudden that are all, max level already, they didn't build their way up into the community, and they're going to start their own guild, and they're going to start ripping guilds out, people from guilds that are, like, hey, we're doing Naxxramas, and your best guild is still only on Encourage, but we transferred here from this crappy server, and now it just kind of, it starts splitting people up, and it rips things apart. So there's a lot of negative attitude about server merges that's been going around, and I didn't think it was that big a deal. When I was like, yeah, well, I don't want to be on a dead server. Like, I don't want to be on a server that has no people. So yeah, I would want to transfer away. And more people's better because it makes the game more exciting. But it just is. There's pros and cons, obviously, with everything of that.
I'll agree with that. Yeah.
So you're rolling a warrior. Is that your plan on Classic WoW?
It's against my will.
Against your will. They're the best. They're the best melee class. They scale the best. They do really good damage. Even in Molten Core, they do really good damage.
Yeah, but the leveling is so brutal.
Well, you just need a healer friend.
Okay.
Maybe and I'm looking at shamans. Everyone says even if I play a shaman, I'm going to end up healing. And I don't think I'm going to do that. I think we're going to have to. I don't want to heal at all, but I want to roll a shaman. And
I'm just waiting for the Always Sunny credit or intro. Jobin goes resto.
Yeah, Jobin goes resto. Yeah. Maybe we'll see. I hope not. I want to, do enhance. I want to do elemental.
No, that intro is actually going to be you show up for the raid. Hey, we need a shaman. Hey, I'm enhancement. We kind of need a resto shaman. And then it's going to be like, Jamin has resto.
Or Jamin doesn't raid today or something. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I hope it's good. So let me switch gears here out of gaming. Let's get like really into it, like heart to heart. Like,
sure.
I
thought that's what we were doing.
Well, we're dancing around it, but let's just get the clothes off now. Like, let's get heart to heart.
I'm right. I'm taking the clothes off.
So, your clothes are off. Okay. The first thing I'm going to ask you is there anything that in life you have failed at that you've learned from, or maybe overcome a challenge from? Like, because I know you've been through a shitload, man. And like, I know that because you've talked to me about it, but do you see those things as making you stronger? Like what do you think?
Do failures and things that break you, make you stronger?
Yeah. Like, cause I know you've been through some, like I've dealt with depression, you've dealt with depression. And like, what do you think that you failed at that has made you stronger, more empowered now? Like, I like this side of you. You're confident. You're doing podcasts. You're, more vibrant. You're happier than I've ever seen you, man. And it's good to see. But how do you think you've got to this point? Like, what made you finally decide I'm going to do this shit?
I don't know about the podcast exactly, but it's been building up over years. And I actually talked about this at the beginning of this episode, not in the interview. Obviously, the episode I recorded some stuff before this. It's called the What's News segment. There was actually a therapy thing that I talked about. It's CBT. So there was a study came out, and in the study, they discovered that for video game addiction, which is not they haven't actually said video game addiction is real. It's not a real thing according to the Center for Disease Control and all that. But there is people who use video games as a coping mechanism. Anyway, so they said that CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, is the best way they've found to get people to not be addicted, quote, to video games. It was better than making them quit cold turkey, or making them take pharmaceutical drugs and quit. And they were just releasing this. This is a study that was done, and they found out that that's true. That therapy, CBT specifically, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, was better. For me, that's what happened for me. I don't think I was addicted to video games necessarily, but for talking about depression and talking about mental health. The therapy I took maybe 10 years ago has finally paid off, and it took a long time for me to level out, to understand where I was going in life and what life is about. And I feel like that's something that we as a society don't take into account. We assume everybody's going to figure out their own coping mechanism, their own way to deal with stresses, and we don't talk about it as in life. We just assume that they'll figure it out when they become an adult. That person will figure it out. And for me, yes, there's been failures and things, and I look back and I kind of cringe, but
we all do.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are the things that teach you what not to do next time and next time. And they build upon it. Every step, every moment in my life has built me into the man I am today. And this is a mantra I have that I say to myself in the mirror, and I've never said this out loud to anybody except myself, is every moment in life, I say it every day, but I read it from a piece of paper.
You're under pressure now.
Yeah. Every moment has built me into the man I am today. And then the best moments in my life are still to come. And each step is another step towards one of those moments.
Okay, Bran.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a powerful saying.
I'm
I
exactly
like
where I'm supposed to be. No, nothing like that. No, there's no predetermined. There's no fate. There's no deterministic thing. It's just everything I've done has led me to who I am. And then also just being optimistic and thinking that going forward, the best moments of my life are still to come. And at some point, that's not going to be true, I guess. Maybe when I'm like 99, they'll be like, well, you have 3 days left to live. And the best moments in your life, yeah, they were already past. But you can't think like that. You can't think like, oh, well, I've already peaked. You got to.
At 99, you peaked.
That's when I peak. That's when I peak. Okay, everybody has their own journey. My peak is 99. When I'm on, Jamincast episode 673 or whatever number it is.
You're gonna peak at 99, and you have 3 days to live. That's the fastest. Like, is that half the mountain is just gone? It's just plummet. Like,
that's what happens though. That's how I live my life. That's my plan, and it's definitely going to go to plan because everything in life goes to plan.
Yeah. I guess along those lines, like, that's a really good saying. It's a good outlook to have, man.
Yeah. And the another thing about video games specifically is that everyone's always been telling me my whole life, everyone's always said, what do you like? Or, what do you want to do when you grow up? Quote. And I'm grown up, but I've always been like, so for me, if you've ever seen the movie The Office Space, The Office Space? It's Office Space, not The Office Space. Starring Steve Carell. No, Office Space. They ask him, what do you want to do with your life? And he says, nothing. I want to do nothing. And for me, for a long time, that's what I identified with. I honestly saw that as not a joke. That was truth. That was reality. I would rather do nothing than anything. If someone said, here's $1 billion, what are you going to do with your life? I would be like, nothing. I will do nothing. And now I would invest that money. I would try to figure out a way to use it to better myself. And that's a new direction. So to answer your question and to cover myself up with put my clothes back on, I guess I'm gonna leave them off.
Oh, they need to stay off.
Yeah,
they're pretty gross anyway.
Right. I have to do a load of laundry as well. Yeah, that's been what's been driving me these last couple months, couple years, whatever it is, however long it's been. I don't even know. I'm not keeping track. But yeah, and being self-confident in who I am and what I want, and talking to people. It's funny. Because I go to my day job and I've talked for how long have I talked in this question you asked me on your interview? I go to my day job and I tell people about my podcast now. I wouldn't talk about video games outside of video games, outside of YouTube, outside of Discord, outside of whatever. I don't go up to people and just talk about video games. Now I totally do that. I totally go up and like, hey, you know what? This is what I love. If you don't love it, that's your problem. This is what I love. I'm trying to find and just sending out the webs, trying to find out people that, who else likes this. And then the number of people that I run into that are like, hey, so do I. And it's so dumb because the video game industry is huge. So of course there's billions of people that love video games.
There's still a stigma with certain, there's a stigma with a few generations where it's like, you're like, my parents don't mean anything mean by it, but they're definitely like, you're 30 and you're playing video games? I'm like, yeah, that's how I relax. You're watching Deal or No Deal. Shut up. What do you want from me?
Yeah. And then they definitely do that. And I know I've had conversations. So I had my cousin makes video games now on Steam, makes little tiny games on Steam. And then he had a World of Warcraft stuff that he did 10 years ago and was making money on it. And every family get together, when we got together with extended family, aunts and uncles, they'd be like, remember those video games that we were telling them that were useless? Well, he's making money on them now. Can you believe it? He's making money on them. And everyone, it was still like a joke though. It wasn't like he's doing it, he's like succeeding. It's like, I can't believe people are paying money for this crazy stuff. And yeah, it's just fantastic. It's a culture difference. It's a life difference. It's growing up different.
I agree. I totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. I mean, all the future generations are going to be playing games like crazy. It's just going to keep evolving. I think gaming is good in moderation, like all things. But gaming definitely is one of those. It's one of those things I will do to relax or cut loose when I want to turn. Like, it's a good way. The thing I always say a lot is I need to turn my brain off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do some dailies. I'm going to turn my brain.
Yeah.
Just turn it right off. There's other ways to do it. Like I know you like to build complex Legos. I like to build complex models. Sometimes I just like to watch TV or read a book. I mean, there's definitely different ways to do it. Recently, I go to the gym. At first I was like, yeah, and now I'm like, it feels good to get a nice hour jog, run in, or whatever. It feels good. Like my body is like, thank you, God, thank you. I'm like, can we pile a cheeseburger? No. Stick to keep eating keto.
Yeah. Holy cow.
It's a good time, man. You changed your diet up too. So you dropped all dairy products, right?
All dairy, and I've started putting sugar back in my coffee, but I need to stop again. I used to just do no sugar at all. So like, I would look at sugar products, and the best thing is so a packet of sugar, a single pack of sugar, is like 3 grams. So whatever sugar you want is like about 3 grams in a pack of sugar if you go to a store. If you look at a Coca-Cola or any other soda, whatever it is, like I think cherry and vanilla colas are like insanely high up there. They're like 60 grams of sugar in like a single bottle, the 16-ounce bottles. That's, what is that? I'm just math. How do I do math? 60 divided by 3? That's 20. Okay, good. We got it. All right, we got it. We're good. I did that in my head. I didn't need to pull a calculator out. That's 20 packets of sugar shoved down your throat in one single bottle. And that visualization really helped me just to pull that off. And the other thing and we're talking about health and mental health and physical health today. This is a whole new podcast. The thing that made me understand how to make a change in your life is I was talking to someone who was a dietitian, who was not dietitian is not the word. It's someone who plans meals, and I guess dietitian is fine.
Dietitian. We'll go with life coach. Let's
sure.
that.
Yeah. And they said that the best things they can do to fix someone, and fix quote unquote, to help better someone, is not a massive cataclysmic change. It is a gradual change. It is one thing. Okay, I'm having Coca-Cola. Maybe I should have a Diet Coca-Cola. Not, maybe
it's not like you're going on a burning crusade, to change yourself.
Right. You just got to cut through the mists, and find your Pandaria.
Well, I get it. And then you're like off that chocolate, the sugar, and all this stuff for like a week, and then you kind of get wrath of I can't complete this one. There's no way to fit Lich King into this scenario.
Yeah.
It's just not.
You can feel the warlord's adrenal in your stomach just rejecting the sugar, later when you try to go back to it. Yeah. In your taste buds.
And it's not a solid stool either. It's like a legion just rushing out.
Yeah, your body just rejects it. It's really a battle for Azeroth.
Your ass.
Azeroth. Okay.
Oh, we did it. We did it.
Yeah. Is that all? Did we do every expansion? I don't even know.
Did we miss one? I don't think so.
No.
No, we didn't.
Good enough.
I don't. Well, it's good. It's good to be healthy, man. I'm glad you're healthy. it's a good look for you, man. It's weird to say, but it's a good look for you.
Yeah,
I
being
don't know
healthy
about
is
the
good.
I don't know about the mustache, but
Yeah,
the
I don't
rest of it,
either. I'm still letting it grow out. I'm just like gonna see like what happens if it grows, and then gonna decide if I want to remove it completely forever. Yeah.
oh, so is there anything? And this is a weird question that like I thought of. What are you not very good at? Like I know what you're good at, but is there something you're not good at that you're like, fuck, I don't want to, I don't, and I bring it up just because I've had it brought up to me, and it's always I like to get people out of their comfort zone. So what
What
are
am I
you
not
not
good
good
at?
at? Yeah.
Sports, being tackled. I know that. I don't know if I would do it now, but I remember as a soft freshman in high school and being very tiny. I think I was like 100 pounds and going out for the football team and getting tackled and just realizing I don't like this. I don't want this anymore. And then I tried out. And then I
I
tried
think
out
I'm having flashbacks to
to.
freaking.
What are you tackling people?
No. What did we play? Ultimate Frisbee? And like you would just run and start screaming like there was no coordination. I remember it was
What?
football or Ultimate Frisbee. You'd be like, "Gah!" And you just run out, and I think Trent or whoever was our like Frisbee quarterback would throw it. And I think in one instance you just kept running like you weren't aware that the Frisbee was coming.
It was definitely football, and I don't remember this behavior at all. I'm going to question everything about this. I don't remember that.
I thought it was you. Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, I fancied myself a receiver, I'm sure, but I don't think I was very fast at all. So it never beat anybody, and it would just, so physical sports have never been fantastic at, and then math. Obviously, math is something that I'm terrible at. Just doing 60 divided by what was it? 60 divided by 3 earlier. I was just like, what is math?
I don't know. That Storm Strike crit was pretty high, right?
Yeah, Storm Strike. I'm good at that. So that you can bring up World of Warcraft. I'm good at that. Yeah, a lot of things I'm not so great at, but I feel like most things it just again is a matter of building yourself. It's not so much because I'm terrible at them, and there's talent. There's naturally people that are talented at things, and things come naturally. But doing things just eventually will make you better at them by doing them. So even if you don't know how to do it, just do it, and eventually you do it.
I totally agree with that. Like, you remember Trent when he started cooking? It was like it's a little rough, but now he's like this master chef because he keeps doing it. Like he just keeps doing it. It's awesome.
Yeah, and for anyone listening, Trent is a master chef that we know, and he cooks. He's a friend of ours. Yeah,
that's his video games. He loves to cook. And I think he's damn good at it. There are times where I think people question whether or not he's burning their house down. But he's not. He's getting all the maximum flavor, into the meat.
Right. And the maximum flavor into your house.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I agree with that. Like practice makes perfect,
Yeah. Practice makes anything. If you don't do it, then you're not going to be good at it.
Yeah.
And I'm not very good at sports because I don't do them. I try. I'll put an effort in. If someone gives me a volleyball, someone gives me a basketball, I'll try, but it's not going to look good. Just don't turn any cameras on.
Well, it's got to be like you have to have fun too. Like that's the thing I have trouble with now with sports is I'm not playing with my friends anymore. It would be me signing up with a bunch of randos. I don't know. It just I don't see it as being fun.
Yeah. Yeah. If I was with a group of friends, that'd be amazing. Like cross country was awesome because I ended up being with this group of people and learning about them and becoming friends, and then learning how to run and how to do all that.
I agree with that. So kind of weird circling back to.
Are you interviewing me? I think you're interviewing me.
I think I'm taking over.
Go ahead.
The show here.
All right, you have free reign, my friend.
This is King Navid, retired YouTuber.
Yeah. Is this the League of Legends highlight streamer or video game YouTuber?
No, dude, I forgot about like Legion Assault and all that bullshit.
League of Legends.
yeah, whatever the hell it was, Legion of like the group
Oh,
YouTube.
Legion of Salt, right? Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was like, oh god, we were doing so well, and then when
Yeah.
you realize you're burning yourself out and no one else is making any effort, it's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do
Yeah,
this.
it's rough to do anything with a group of people with no like contracts, and especially when there's no money involved and you're just like both trying to make things, and then
Well,
it's hard to
you
stay
want it to,
motivated.
yeah, because you want it to succeed, and when you don't get that vibe from the other people, it's like, okay, why am I trying so hard? And now your fear is we broke 150 subs when we started in our first 2 months, and it was like suddenly they were like, we have input about the videos you're doing. I'm like, no, you don't. Make some videos. Like, what? Shut the fuck up. Like, do some work.
Oh, I thought it was more than 2 people. I thought you guys were only 2.
No, so he probably doesn't care if I say it. Phil, bless his heart, was doing his best to help. There was like 3 or 4 other people in it.
Oh wow, okay.
And they were
That
either
explains a
too
lot.
busy. Well, yeah, they were either too busy or didn't want to. And Phil's big issue was he had a laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Him recording was kind of difficult. Him editing, so he could probably get a video out, but his laptop would be like producing that video for like several. You could imagine, like rendering. And then when I moved to my own channel, I got like, I don't know, you know how it is when you record a video and then you have to do all the editing and make it perfect, and it's never going to be perfect because we always hate ourselves and our work.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where it's too time consuming, and I've got a family to worry about, and I can't put that time and energy into it. Like, I loved it, but I just can't put that energy into it.
Right. Yeah, it's a big thing for me, and this for the podcast, for YouTube, for Twitter, for Twitch. It's a process system. You look at someone and you go, wow, he puts out a video every day. And a lot of these guys actually have multiple people working on their stuff. Like the big YouTubers, they have multiple people working on these videos, and it's not just them by themselves. But the single people that put out stuff every day, that's a process. They figure out their process, and they're, at this hour, this time, this day, this week, I do this, and this every week, every day. And they put out content every whatever it is. And so, especially as a small YouTuber, a small Twitch streamer, a small content creator, as I am right now, it's figuring that process out and what clicks with people. It's been good.
I agree. And the big thing you need to work on, and you're doing really good at it, is your consistency. Because I can see you're panic when you're like, oh God, I don't have anyone for the show. What the hell do I do? I need to get this show out. But that's a good thing. That's a drive to have that consistent content coming out. And as you're improving the quality every week, your consistency will show, and fans will love that. Because I mean, for like, I'm speaking for Ashley and I, we have people we like to watch on a weekly basis. And if they come out with a consistent video every week, it's like, cool, I know to check in. But they miss that 1 week, we're like, I guess they're on a break. We won't follow up with them or, come back to them. So keep that consistency up. It's a really good thing to do, and a good thing to have.
Yeah, I've been loving it. So I can see my analytics for the podcast, for everything really. And for the podcast itself, I think the first month I had a specific number, and this month, it's the second month for anyone who doesn't know of this podcast. It's doubled already. It's double. It's at the first 15 days of the month, I hit the same exact numbers as I had hit the entire month, the first month, and this month I've hit double already. And I haven't looked at it in a couple days, but hopefully it means it's even higher now. But yeah, it's been good. I don't again. The same thing as I said earlier is that, it's important for people to think this way. I think the mental health stuff is that if you fail at something, if I go next month and I find out that it's back down to, the first month, and I only have as many as I had the first month, it's going to suck. It's going to hurt. I won't be, ecstatic about that, but it's not going to end. I'm not going to just stop doing the podcast. I'm not going to just stop. I'm going to find out what I'm doing differently, what's causing people driving away, what can I do to make it better? It's not a thing about, oh, this sucks. It's a thing of every week consistently making something, and every week by doing it consistently, you make something greater every week. It gets better and better, and you evolve with your audience.
Yeah, it's a good philosophy to have, because you don't want to get yourself down. You need to. I know people say, yeah, you dug a ditch, you need to climb out and you'll be stronger. I'm like, you don't want to get in the ditch in the first place. Like, stay out of the ditch. There's no reason to be in the ditch if you can prevent it.
Yeah, there was an interview, and the quote was that, you know, every journey you have to climb a mountain, every life. And so you could be climbing your particular mountain, your personal mountain, whatever it is, and get halfway up and look up and realize you can't go any higher on your current path. And it sucks. It hurts. But sometimes you got to go down the path, and you got to go find a new one down near the, you know, you don't have to necessarily go all the way down the mountain, but you have to turn around and go back down and start again and go up a different path to get up higher than you are currently. And so that happens. That's life. And so this has been a very wholesome stream, a very wholesome podcast.
Let me take it back a notch.
Sure.
What's your most cringeworthy moment? That moment where you're just getting comfortable in bed, you think about it, and you're like you just
the moment that makes me cringe for my life, the one that I did. You want me to bring up my cringiest moment on my public podcast?
I'll give you one of mine. All
right, you go first. I have to think about it a little bit.
One of the biggest cringes for me was it was high school.
What? High school?
Yeah. I mean, there's like, when you're in middle school, you're just a dipshit kid.
Yeah.
I don't consider that.
No. I was kidding, being facetious. High school is like the worst part of your life for anybody. Yeah. You're just like, you don't understand how anything works, so you're just making it up and you're learning the rules. Go ahead.
So my buddy introduced me to this girl, and he was like, this girl is interested in you. You guys should talk. We talked, and she's like, at the end of the convo, I ended up dating this person for like a year, I think. And I just remember the most cringy thing, and I'm surprised we dated at all. She's like, how can I get in contact with you? I didn't give her my phone number. I didn't give her my email. At the time, people usually gave addresses. I was like, here's my AOL username. You can contact me. I was like, wrote it down on a piece of paper and gave it to her, and then walked away. And I was like,
that's your cringe?
Yeah, that was
really.
One of
that's your worst. That's your worst cringe.
It's cringe because it was in front of an entire class who was kind of watching me.
Oh, people were watching you. It wasn't just a.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It wasn't like solo, and I was just like, oh, that wasn't cool.
Okay.
I know my friend probably facepalmed. Oh.
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I feel like personally this is going to destroy you, and so, all right. This is a complicated story.
Oh God.
It's a high school story. There's two stories actually. I'm gonna go with two. I'm gonna limit it to two. I'm gonna leave it there because we're gonna run out of time, and I don't want to go over the time limit. Which is, there really is no time limit to podcast, but keep it short, keep it sweet. So here it is. There's two of them. My first girlfriend, number one, and then I say first girlfriend, it was the first official girlfriend and boyfriend. We called each other boyfriend and girlfriend. We were not, like, I wouldn't even consider it an actual relationship. We just said, do you want to be my girlfriend? I said to her. She said yes, and then like 2 days later we broke up because we realized we both didn't want to be in a relationship. So what happened is, I asked her to be my girlfriend, and then she started passing me notes in class. Like, you know, here's how my day's going. Here's what I'm thinking about. And I was just like, please, dear God, do not pass me any more notes. This is the most boring thing I've ever done. And then I remember going to lunch, and she was sitting there with her friends. And I realized now that I had a girlfriend that I had a duty to sit with her instead of sitting with my friends at lunch. And I didn't. I said nope, and I just walked past her and went and sat down with my friends at lunch because I would want to hang out with my friends, not with this random girl. I just wanted to check that box, you know. Girlfriend, check, got it, we're done. So that was cold. Yeah, that was pretty messed up. And I look back on that, I'm like, what was I doing? Like, come on, like, what do you just. And, you know, this is the things you don't know about your life. You just hear, like, yes, boyfriends are fun and girlfriends are fun, whatever. And you're like, all right, I want to do that. And then you try it out and you're like, oh, not like this. This is not fun. Okay. And the next thing was when I was a senior in high school, and I look back and I feel really, really bad. I don't know if this is cringing, like public humiliation, more so that I just feel really bad that I was kind of I feel like an asshole. There was 3 women in the story, 3 women. One was a sophomore, one was a freshman, and one was a senior. And so it was prom. Prom was coming up. I was a senior going to prom. And I needed to find somebody to go to prom with. So there was this girl, we'll call her freshman blonde. I don't remember her name. So that's actually really funny because it's part of the story that I didn't remember her name. So she, oh my God, why am I talking about this? Why did you do this to me?
I got your clothes off. Like I got your defenses down. You gotta bring your soul and
Okay. So she liked me, and I was oblivious to this. The freshman girl liked me as the senior. Her friend, the sophomore, was very vocal and talked to me a lot because she was trying to get me to talk to her friend, not her. But I took it as the girl who was talking to me liked me, the sophomore. And then there was a senior girl that I talked to like every day, and I really liked her. The senior girl, but I felt like she was like too good for me, and she was beautiful. She was gorgeous. And like, I thought there was no way I'll ever be with that girl. So anyway, I went to go talk to sophomore brunette, and I asked her to go to prom with me. And she didn't want to go with me because she knew her friend liked me, not her. And then her friend was also, oh my God, dude. You got me on a cringeworthy, like there's so many things that in this like triangle of girls that I just cringe myself for the way I went about doing it. We were in a school play together, me and freshman blonde. And then at the end of the school play, everybody's holding hands in a circle, and they say, go around in a circle and say one thing you like about each person. And I got to the blonde, and I couldn't remember her name. And we had been working in a play together for like 4 or 5 months.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know if she cried, but I felt terrible. I felt like a complete ass. And that was that. I feel cringe in there for that. And then prom came. I didn't ask her to prom because wasn't interested in her. I didn't know she was interested in me. She was a nice girl. I probably should have been, but I was concerned with other things. And then so the sophomore friend, I did ask. And she said, I'll get back to you. And I said, okay, great. And I go off on my own. And senior girl, who I really like, my friend comes up to me and says, hey, have you asked her to prom yet? Have you asked senior girl to prom yet? And I said, no. Why would I ask her to prom? And he goes, because she's waiting for you to ask her. So I run over to sophomore girl. And I say to her, have you come to a decision on prom yet? And she goes, well, I don't know because, and she was about to tell me about her friend. And I said, great, don't worry about it. Goodbye. And I left.
Oh no.
And I went to senior girl, and we ended up going to prom with senior girl. It was fine. It was a great prom. It was whatever. Prom was prom. I don't want to, that's another cringe moment, but I think that's too much cringe.
They all are. They all are.
I think just growing up is cringing. Like I'm just cringing thinking about everything. But too many cringe moments to even fit into a podcast about video games. Oh God, what have you done? What have you done? This is going on my podcast now. I'm gonna have to put this in the internet forever. And if those girls ever run into it, I think I'm Facebook friends with at least one of them. They're gonna listen to this one day, maybe, never, probably never.
Good. Let them spread the word.
They'll be like, "What the hell is he talking about? Me? He does not know the full story," and they will set the record straight. Yeah, those were weird times growing up. High school's weird. It's really weird. Again, like I said, everybody just assumes you'll figure it out. You'll figure out life. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people, turn to drugs, alcohol, turn to some other thing, video games, addicting things. They lose themselves. Like you said, you turn your brain off when you play some video games sometimes. And a lot of times. Well, and that's what people use as an escape to get away. And this is going to sound
totally like, I don't know. I don't even know the word to use for this, but like the idea is more that we're bored. We're so bored. We don't have to fight to survive anymore. At least I
Mhm.
can't speak for everyone, but for the most part, people have a place to stay. It might not be the greatest. People can get food. Healthcare might not be accessible. Whatever.
Yeah.
These days, but
It's
we're
better
not
than
like
cavemen where it was literally there is no healthcare.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now we go home and it's like, what do I want to do? I don't know. Doing like you said, doing nothing is great, but the only time doing nothing is great is when I've done something.
Right.
What I mean by that is
Exactly.
like I worked my ass off today. I'm doing nothing. But those
Mhm.
days where like you go to work and you don't give 10% and you come home unsatisfied with what you did, you're like, nothing will satisfy me right now. I guess I should go to sleep. Those are like the dark days. I don't know, the days where you dwell on things you shouldn't dwell on.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of something to stir your bones, the soul.
I think we've stirred quite a bit, and I'm happy to end it there actually, and 'cause we've been going for 60 minutes now.
Oh
Um,
God. Do you have any takeaway questions or anything you really wanted to ask me that I may have? I took over the show. Let's just be honest.
yeah,
Man.
that's okay. Do my job for me. This is easy. This is an easy week for me. This week I don't have to do any work. I'll just have Navid on every week, and he'll just ask me questions, and I'll just answer them. That'll be a great
Hey,
podcast.
I'm happy to be a return guest. Ashley's more than happy to hop on and tell you what the state of Overwatch is. I have no
Yeah,
doubt
I could
Trent
have
would
a. I could
love to
just.
talk about culinary stuff
You
with
know
you.
what we should do with Ashley? We should have her on, and I'll just put like a helicopter noise behind her, and she can just tell me like, "And here we are from Overwatch League, and I'm reporting in from the Overwatch desk, and this is what's going on right now," and giving me the beat report. No, that's crazy. Um, maybe
Oh,
one day, if I'm ever making money, I'll hire her as my Overwatch League reporter.
well, I'm more concerned about the helicopter.
It's
You get
just a
the
noise.
helicopter.
It's just a noise. It's a bit, okay? There's things called bits, and we have to do them sometimes. And I haven't actually done any really great bits
So
yet.
you're saying there's no helicopter?
There will be a helicopter, but not in the first version. Eventually, when we're making enough money, I'll just buy a helicopter just for the bit. It's not going to fly it. We're not going to like go anywhere with it. I'm just going to turn it on every time I need her to do that bit for me.
We'll add it in post. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It'll be in there, but we buy $1 million helicopter just so we can get the noise because I can't get unless it's authentic. We can't do it. Okay.
Uh, you need a you need a foliage. You know the sound guys. Am I saying that right? Foily. It's like you know what I'm talking about. Where they
No, I
like
don't.
you've never seen like a foil. I'm saying it wrong. I know I am.
Foliage is like a bush, like
Yeah,
leaves.
it's like a foliist.
Foliage.
It's the guy who makes sound effects in
I.
like the ways you would not imagine. Like you're hearing like brutal sword sounds, and he's
Mhm.
like rubbing a sponge on a metal pipe, or he's like, you just need one of those guys behind you. Like,
Gotcha.
oh, it's getting like rough out here.
Yeah.
But
I just use my vocal cords to try to do that. If you listen to the first couple podcasts, there's definitely some vocal work in there. Uh,
oh, I agree. It's just that your mustache is in the way. I think it's stopping some of your vocal
if I'm
strengths.
gonna shave next week, and everyone's gonna be like, "Ha ha." Yeah, there's a cringeworthy moment. Okay.
Arthas didn't have a mustache.
Arthas did not have a
You
mustache.
don't need a mustache.
All right.
Oh yeah. Final question for me. Anything you had on your mind doesn't matter.
Anything on my mind? Are you gonna have a good weekend this weekend?
I will. I can't disclose what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it'll be a great weekend. There's a possibility of water sports and dysentery involved with water sports,
Nice.
but I think it's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of smashing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna bring my.
amongst bros.
Yeah, some nice bro smashing, and I think you're gonna. Who's gonna be the switch? For that smashing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just depends who's got the season passed. We'll see. I don't know, but yeah, it's going to be a good
man.
weekend.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it, filling in for me. And for anyone who doesn't realize this, I had a quick cancellation at the end of a couple hours before my interview was scheduled, and I had a cancellation, so I had to scramble to find someone. And now a helicopter's going over. I don't want. I didn't buy that yet. Send it out. Send it back.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm
Yeah.
going to call you Anthony because I've known you as Anthony.
Mhm.
You're a great friend. Your show's great. I think you should keep it up.
Thanks, man.
I've never seen you happier. and I'm always happy to help or be on your show. And I look forward to seeing the next episode, man.
Awesome. You'll be in it, by the way. I don't know if you know that.
Wow. I don't see. I'm gonna wait for the check to clear before I let you do that.
Okay.
We'll check in. My helicopter hasn't arrived yet.
Okay. I think I just heard it leaving. It's leaving now.
Oh, it's here. Thanks. Okay.
Awesome. Okay, man. Thank you so much.
Man.
And that is an episode in the bag. Thank you so much, Navid. Episode 8 is done. If you guys could, follow me, twitter.com. It's Twitter @JaminTheShaman, twitch.tv/Jamin, youtube.com/JaminTheShaman. Basically, look for Jamin, look for Jamin the Shaman. You will find me. Love you guys. Have a great week. I'll see you next weekend.